think we are live. Should be. Yeah, we are. Great time. Give it a sec here. Just give me a second. And post. Thank you. Okay. I think we're live. At least we should be. I hope we are. Let's give people a second to get in here. Always gotta. What's that here? Well, I'll tell you what, things are not doing too good right now. Things are going off. And, well, the United States have taken some interesting choices during the time of struggle. Yeah, not a great time right now. A lot of stuff. Well, I tell you, it's an alright time. I mean, individually, people might be doing alright. Can't tell you otherwise. But, we'll have to see. I just wanted to check real quick before we get started here. I wanted to check the quality was doing good. Yeah, not a great time right now. Sound is coming through. Yeah, okay. Well, I just wanted to check that. I just got to make sure the quality's top notch. Or at least, whatever. Anyways, the U.S. has made some exciting decisions, and they've actually done some stuff here. So the U.S. strikes, kills Harakat Hezbollah al-Nayaba commander Abu Taqwa al-Siyed, whatever, the PMF deputy, big motherfucker, I mean, perfect motherfucker or something like that, deputy, was targeted in Baghdad. So, yeah, a lot of people targeted. Some stuff happened, and I'm not, just going to sit here and point it out, guys, but some stuff did happen. Not a great time. But, actually, it's better than other things because it was the U.S. striking against terrorists. So, of course, we can accept that. That's all right. Well, I mean, I actually have a clip here from Trey Yingst himself, the man, the myth, the legend here. This is Trey Yingst.
News today out of the Middle East.
He is a legend of the border. He's actually in Israel right now. But, yeah, we'll have to just watch him here. So here you have it, Trey Yingst.
More breaking news today out of the Middle East, where the United States conducted a precision strike against the deputy commander of an Iranian-backed Iraqi Shia militia in Baghdad. More breaking news today out of the Middle East.
Short and sweet. Short and sweet. There you had it. We got some more from Trey Yingst. Israel's airstrikes target the outskirts of Kiryat Yashun. This is important because it also shows that Israel is still very much conducting attacks in the southern part of Gaza. Khan Yushin is the southern big city in Gaza. This is the fence, and there we have the explosions there in the city. Big one as well. This is also recorded from Trey Yingst, as you can see. Quite a big one. Trey Yingst on Twitter. Go check him out. Quite the day here. More videos coming out from the IDF here. The 179th Brigade of the Yal units and the Israeli Navy Flotilla 13 completed a targeted activity at Hamas compound in central Gaza, where identified several tunnels shaft leading to a network of hundreds of meters of Hamas tunnels where they found mortars, grenade, RPG missiles, a weapons manufacturing site with machinery, explosive, and materials used to extend the range of Hamas rockets. This tunnel network was destroyed by engineering forces of the 99th Divisions and the Yahalom unit. Yesterday, we saw exactly how they destroyed those tunnels. They use a lot of explosives. They basically just level it. I mean, there's basically nothing left of the tunnel when they're done with it. That's what it's part of it. So they go into the tunnel, they level it. And what Hamas has resorted to doing, they're actually closing off some part of the tunnel to try and keep the Israelis away. And I can see these guys are very much tensed up in the video. You can see it because they know that there could be a Hamas member somewhere along this tunnel here, and Hamas actually started to barricade these up here with anything they can find to try and keep the Israelis out. But here you have it. This is a video that shows mortars and things being found inside of the Gaza tunnels. Gaza tunnels operated by Hamas. That right there? It's complete barricaded right there. Look, see that? That's sort of a makeshift barricade right there they've been putting up. So some makeshift barricades. So not a great time. Hey, Witchy, welcome in. Welcome, welcome. So yeah, as you can see, they take the picture here. These are the RPGs, rocket-propelled grenades, walkie-talkies, all kinds of things that the Hamas used to kill, civilians, basically. Well, of course, and the IDF. But these are suitcases. They're filled up with all kinds of different things. Grenades. That was gear that the Hamas soldiers wore. This is basically what the IDF is conducting right now. They're basically just conducting these operations within these tunnels here, really putting the Hamas out of action. You can see just how abandoned those tunnels are. That is a tunnel in Gaza, which, yeah, I reposted the video on Twitter if you guys want to go watch it for yourself. It is definitely a tunnel in in Gaza that the IDF, yet another tunnel that the IDF is clearing out. Pretty much what the IDF is doing right now is they're pretty much just cleaning up. They're cleaning up the last Hamas soldiers. As what's left of the Hamas infrastructure is very much unknown. I mean, I believe it's very little. They have very little control left. Although they have very little control left, they still hold 136 hostages. This number of 136 was confirmed by the Admiral Daniel Hagari, the IDF spokesperson, actually confirmed that they still had 36 hostages of Israeli or other national identity, which is of course sad, you know. But there you have it. That's what they have. Moving on. I did talk about a little bit here. The United States did conduct strikes against target and terrorist targets in the Middle East. And the Israelis are actively conducting strikes in Khan Yushin in the southern part. Trey Yingst on Twitter. Trey Yingst is a reporter from the ground. I talked about that just a second ago here. Go watch him. Go watch his recent videos, and you'll go see it all. Soar, welcome in. Savvy, welcome in. The IDF eliminates, so the IDF is the Israeli forces, eliminates one of the high-ranking commanders of the Palestine Islamic Jihad, the Times of Israel reported. So the IDF and the United States are pretty much partnered up in clearing out the last of the terrorists responsible for anything against the either U.S. bases or Israel. I mean, they're pretty much just cleaning up the Middle East right now. The most crazy thing to think about is that the United States is watching Israel's actions and realizing just how powerless some of these terrorists are against the weapons that the United States and Israel have, and it's sort of given the United States a boost in its ability, or even in its willingness to conduct strikes against terrorists. I mean, usually the standing from the United States is to not escalate unless escalated upon. By the way, which is they're in the right now because the United States have been escalated upon. I mean, listen, they've been targeted. They've been hit by multiple rockets. There have been people killed and injured of who are American and American military origin. So to say that the United States are out of their way right now, that they're conducting strikes against terrorist, leaders that were behind the attacks that were conducted at the U.S. base is I say they're very much in their right to conduct strikes against people who are killing U.S. personnel in the Middle East. I say they are. Have your opinion, but I say at least we're in the rights. The United States are in the rights to do what they're doing right now. That's what I'm saying. But yeah, I think they are. They're clearing up the last bit of terrorists. I mean, there's always going to be more, but that's just how the world is. Regardless of the bombings that has taken place, a bombing took place yesterday, which is not funny, yet I think it's ironic in a sense, because the bombing in Iran, someone has actually claimed responsibility. The terrorist group ISIS have claimed responsibility for yesterday's attack near Soleimani tomb in the Iranian city of Kerman. The terrorists claimed that two of their supporters blew themselves up in the crowd. According to the Iranian authorities, 84 people were killed and 284 were injured. This is the official numbers given to us by the Iranian authorities. So a lot of people were coming out with different numbers. I mean, you may have seen it, right? A lot of people came out with 100 people killed, 100 people that, and 300 injured, and so some were saying, 50 people killed and 100 injured. The numbers were all over the place, but these numbers right here are directly from Iranian officials, so I can't tell you. So to be honest with you, I imagine that's probably the most accurate numbers you're gonna get right now. 84 people killed and 284 injured. It was a suicide bombing. This is confirmed by Iranian authorities. And right after the bombing, the Iranians do as they always do and blame Israel, but they didn't do that. Israel did not do it. Israel does not conduct suicide bombing. They're not doing that. At least that's not their efforts. So yeah, it was part of Syrian and Iraqi forces called the ISIS forces. That two of their members blew themselves up in the square, followed up by massive amount of people. How you doing, Bryson? A lot of stuff going on here, but we do have a confirmation on the factor that yes, in fact, it was ISIS that blew up the tomb in the city of Kerman, the terrorist attack in Iran. Confirmed. So not Israel. It is funny to me, not that it's funny that these people died, but let me just tell you something. In the start of this war against Israel, a lot of people are saying, oh, the Middle East is uniting. The Middle East they like each other. The Middle East, and I've always been saying, no one in the Middle East likes each other unless they have something in common. And right now, they're realizing Hamas is losing. Israel is coming out on top, looking better than ever. Well, at least in images of, winning, power. Yeah. So they realize that they've pretty much messed up a bit, and now they've gone back to their old self, pretty much hating each other. Terrorist groups, which you think, ISIS, that only hates America. ISIS hates America. Don't worry, don't get it wrong. And ISIS hates the West, but they also hate Iran because these people just hate each other. They don't like each other, okay? No one in the Middle East likes each other. I'm not talking about like family members. I'm not talking like individual people. I'm talking about the countries. No single country in the Middle East have great relations. They don't have great relations. Afghanistan is attacking Iran. ISIS is attacking Iran. Nobody likes Iran. The only time they like Iran is when they want military gear or when they want to sponsor something. So yeah, it was their own people. ISIS forces basically consist of Iraqi and Syrian, as far as I understand. I can't tell you the origin of these people from ISIS because I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't be able to tell you the origins of these people, but as far as we understand, they're from the regions of ISIS, from the region of ISIS-controlled territories, which are in Syria and Iraq. So there you have it. Yeah. Bryson, can you not promote somebody else's channel? And I don't give a fuck about New York Prepper. Please stop bringing me New York Prepper. I don't give a fuck about that man. Please stop bringing his name into this chat. I'm just gonna remove it now, but you know, don't bring that up. Think it's rude to do that? Anyways, the Iranian state, if they say another name. Well, yeah, I mean, just listen. Don't bring up other people's channels in my chat. It's not, you know, it's not because I hate you. Just don't bring up other people's channels in my chat. I've had a lot of people come in here and say, oh, they're live or they're, and I don't give a shit about the New York Prepper. New York Prepper is a fucking shit source. He's a war propaganda. You know, he will not give you the right sources and he will tell you his own opinion. Listen, I'll tell you my own opinion, but they're based upon knowledge that I've gotten from the intel that I've gotten, okay? They're not based upon bullshit that he has conquered up in his mind, okay? That's all I got to say. I just don't bring me that guy. You know, anybody with a name Prepper in it, just don't bring me those people because I don't like those people. Iranian state media is now reporting that the first explosions during the bombing yesterday in the city of Qamran was triggered by a suicide bomber. And while investigations are still ongoing, it's believed that the second explosion were also a result of a suicide bomber, who said they were ISIS or ISIS-linked groups. 9 Hezbollah targets in a ironic twist of events here, and also some greater times for Israel. To point out some other things here, 9 Hezbollah terrorists killed in IDF strikes in the past day, including field commander, confirmed Israel Hezbollah death toll risen to 147. Israel forces on high alert for attacks in response to Beirut assassination. Israel forces, not Israel, but Hezbollah forces have retreated 2 to 3 kilometers from the Israeli border, the economics reports. Western sources say IDF capable of fighting 2 war front can remove Hezbollah positions near the border within hours. So again, as I said before, listen. Yeah, but listen, I mean, I hate people that promote themselves as being preppers, okay? Listen, I like you, Witchy, okay? But I hate people that promote. Okay, listen, not everybody is bad, but I tend to not like those people. Rare occasions, I do like them. But listen, it's just because I think it's ridiculous, not because I think the idea of prepping or getting ready for something is ridiculous, but the idea of promoting it and getting money off it and all that bullshit it's weird to me. I don't know why, but it's weird. It's just I don't know. It's no, I don't know. It's no hate here. I just all love. But anyways, all right. Well, listen, I'm not, you know, I'm not trying to create anything heated. I'm just, yeah, I don't know. I've just had enough of New York Prepper. He's not a great reporter or anything like that. So the 2 to 3 kilometers from the Israeli border. So Hezbollah has realized that not only does Israel have capabilities in, not only does Hezbollah have capabilities, not Hezbollah, Israel has capabilities in fighting a 2-war front. You haven't seen anybody fight a 2-war front since the fucking World War II or World War I. Well, both times Germany fought a 2-front war. Granted, they fought both of those wars, but they did pretty good in the start, didn't they? But listen, I mean, the one thing I want to point out here as well is Israel is ready. Israel it has thousands, hundreds of thousands of trained troops. At this point, these troops that have been stationed at the northern border of Israel, I mean, they're very trained at this point, and they haven't even committed. You know, the amount of troops they put near the southern border of Israel with Gaza hasn't exceeded the numbers they put there. They put about 300,000 soldiers to be able to fight there. They haven't sent in 300,000 soldiers. As far as I understand, they maybe only send in 50,000. I mean, the number of death tolls of the Israeli forces are very low compared to Hamas forces. I mean, it's cost the Israelis a lot, but it hasn't cost them as much as it has to the other terrorist groups. So, as far as I understand, the Israelis now have, I mean, you know, shit ton of, really a great ton of troops at this point in time. I mean, they really have a lot of troops, and they have a lot of resources at their proposal at this point. You know, yeah. So yeah, you think they are pulling back because Iran about to attack the border? No. Listen, I mean, yeah, I mean, I get that you may think that Iran has capabilities to do so, but you also got to think about one thing here is that Iran never attacks. Okay? Iran never attacks anybody. And if Iran were to start attacking Israel, they would get involved in a war, which means that, you know, no, they're not going to attack the border. Don't worry. They're not going to attack the border because Iran rarely tends to do anything themselves. They tend to sponsor people that will then strike the border for them. They don't do anything themselves. But yeah, no, they're not going to strike the border. The only thing the reason why Hezbollah has pulled back forces is very likely anticipation for a larger attack, or it's simply so they can avoid being killed. Because the reason why they might pull back is because right now they're receiving rockets after rocket. I mean, they're being slaughtered in many ways. I mean, they're being assassinated at the front because they're so close to the Israelis. They've probably decided to pull back a bit to sort of get themselves a little bit more of a cover. So that's the only reason why I can come up with the idea as to why they might be pulling back. But yeah, I don't know. Doesn't understand it correct. Yet Iran doesn't do anything. Iran never does anything themselves. They sponsor. You know, everybody keeps threatening everything. Sooth. You know, everybody keeps saying, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do that. But most of the time, nobody really does anything. You know, most of the time, the Middle Eastern countries, when it comes to Saudi Arabia, when it comes to, I mean, a lot of those countries with more money, they tend to like to sponsor people in the, you know, terrorist groups in the Middle East to do their dirty work for them, so their hands can stay, you know, clean in the sense of, you know, they haven't done it themselves and they can blame it on somebody else. But that's what I can give you, you know. But yeah, as far as we know. So another turn of twisted events, something I didn't know about, but apparently this has happened. The Israeli officials are alarmed and have reached out to the U.S. defense officials regarding their decision to withdraw the USS Gerald R. Ford and her carrier strike group from the Eastern Mediterranean at a time when hostilities in the region are expected to soon escalate. So they are proxy foxes. They are proxy guys. They are exactly that's what they are. They like to do proxy wars. They don't do dirty work themselves. They just do proxy shit. You know, they sponsor everybody else, and they're not gonna do it themselves. The reason why we know they sponsor everybody else is because the Howitz, which are literally called the Howitz operating in Yemen, sponsored by Iran. They're literally called Iranian-backed Howitz, and there are other groups in the Middle East that are called Iranian-backed something something. There are so many groups in the Middle East called Iranian-backed something something, and every single one of them, not only have the Iranian-backed something attacked U.S. bases, they've also attacked multiple targets in Israel, and they've also helped Hamas. They've also, so yeah, no, yeah, you're welcome, but yeah. You don't worry about Iran. The only thing you have to worry about if they decide to sponsor somebody, which is likely, but I don't think it's going to happen. Yeah. So I have the official notice here that apparently the USS Gerald R. Ford, the airstrike, the aircraft carrier, have withdrawn from the Eastern Mediterranean Sea, doing hostilities at its most highest, and the Israelis are pretty pissed about it. They don't like it, but apparently they've withdrawn due to the increasing threat in the Red Sea. I might imagine that they might redraw their forces towards the Red Sea, or they could be doing. Is that what? I think it says 2012. 03. I think it's from 2000. That's probably just because the outage. Sometimes these cameras go offline and they're not exactly the same. Trust this one. This one's a bit janky, but this one's good. I mean, they're good. I think it's just because sometimes there's power outage and they don't exactly do. But yeah, so there's an increasing threat of an attack happening in the Red Sea very soon. Both the UK and the US and a number of other countries have warned the Iranian-backed Houthi operating in Yemen about the attacks on civilian ships. Just today, multiple ships were warned about attacks occurring on their borders. So ships were actually sailing through the Red Sea were warned today about Yemen soldiers, or not soldiers, sorry, the Iranian-backed Houthis firing off rockets. Once again, even though they haven't told multiple times not to. And they did it again today, and they're continuously worried about it. So people are very much looking at the possibility that we could be heading into not a war like that, but it's certainly a sort of a exchange missile war, sort of the U.S. is going to bring down a lot of fucking firepower and start fucking the shit out of the Houthis. But that's for future references. And also, by the way, it might happen, might not happen. We'll see, but whatever. So today I would like to update. So this is from the IDF spokesperson, Rear Admiral Daniel Hagari. Today I would like to update that 3 Israeli citizens who were until now denied, I think you're supposed to say. Oh, defined as missing. Oh, there you go. Are now recognized as hostages. They joined Hada, Oron, Hisham, and Ivera, bringing the total number of Israel hostages held in Gaza to 136. So there are still 136 hostages held in captivity by the Hamas forces. Now, I want to bring your attention towards just how dangerous this situation is for these hostages. And the reason why it's so dangerous... yeah, I mean, yeah, that's true. But they have come back a bit since then. I'd say they have come back a bit since then. The reason why I'm saying that is because ever since this war sort of turned into a war of Israel is kind of just winning it, that baby just turned 1. Yeah, I heard about that. I wasn't gonna bring it up because I wasn't gonna talk about it. But yeah, there was a baby that is captive in Gaza. So there is a baby held by Hamas forces that have turned 1 year old, I think yesterday or something like that. I wasn't going to talk about it in terms of respecting the privacy and also just how terrible that situation is. I mean, the reason why I didn't want to say is because I didn't want to scar the child for if people are putting that online, and I get that the situation is dire, and if the child of course gets back in good care, which of course my big hope is that the child gets back in care with its parents. I just didn't want to share any information or show pictures or something like that. So that's why I didn't bring it up. But yeah, I was aware of it. But the reason why also I want to bring this up now is just how dangerous the situation for these hostages are. The reason why it's dangerous is because most of the hostages that you know of, beyond hell of a one. Lost all faith on October 7th. A lot of people did. A lot of people did lose faith in the October 7th. But the reason why a lot of this situation is dangerous, you might ask yourself, why are the Israelis not just going full force? There's actually a good reason for that. And you can actually thank the Israelis as the reason why many of the hostages are not killed yet, because they're actually holding back. You think to yourself, why haven't they taken this area? Why haven't they taken more areas? Why are they conducting this kind of, the reason why is because Israel has to be careful. They actually have to be careful not to kill the hostages. When you're in a quarter, this city right here, right? What's left of the controlled area of Hamas? We're talking 10, not even, maybe 10, less than 10 square kilometers of control. I don't know the exact number. I don't know. But, this is not a lot of control, and the reason, this city is very, very densely packed. 3 million people live in an area that's the size of a town. I mean, not a town, but it's it's on the size of 45 square kilometers is the whole of Gaza. It's very small in terms of, population. It's very small because it actually contains, within this small bit of land, 3 million people live in this small bit of land here, which is, I will say it's small because it is small. I mean, look at, my town. I live here. This is where I live, and it's almost, my city is almost bigger than what this country or whatever you want to call it is, the Disney of it, yeah, and so the distance of just how close the Israeli warriors and the hostages are, the closer the Israelis get, the more desperate Hamas gets, and much like crazy terrorists or crazy dictators, many of them are willing to go down with the ship, if you get what I'm saying. Many of them will not go down without having the last fuck you, And the reason, the way that the Hamas might give the last sort of fuck you would be by probably executing many of the hostages. And that's no joke. Hamas, holy shit, I can't speak today. I gotta calm down here. I'm losing up here. It's because it's cold, and when it gets cold, you get this sort of thing where you can't really speak as well. I don't know, it's weird today. It's weird. I gotta warm up. Oh, there we go. All right, let's just speak it down here. What I was trying to say is, you have to understand the situation here. If Putin were to realize that Russia was lost, Russia was gonna lose, and he was gonna lose his power, it's very likely he was gonna fire off nukes. The reason why is the captain never goes down with his ships. Helps me understand. All right, thank you for saying that. I might be speaking a little bit fast here, but what I'm trying to say is captains or crazy terrorists don't go down without the ship. They will kill the terrorists. They will kill the babies. We all know Hamas doesn't shy away from killing babies. Everyone in this room knows Hamas doesn't shy away from killing babies. Okay? We know they do it. We know they've done it. So they don't shy away from killing 1-year-old, whatever the name was. They will not shy away from doing that. That's 136 people dead. And that's why the Israelis haven't taken the whole of Gaza yet. Could they take the whole of Gaza within days? Or if they were to go full force right now, could they take Gaza? Yeah, they could. But the problem is the hostages, the civilians, the people, the people that are not part of this war. The thing is, people that are against Israel or anything like that, they keep saying, oh, Israel kills all the civilians. the reason I think it's funny that he keeps saying that is because when Israel sort of captured, they used their own as shield. That's true. And when Israel captured the cities of these areas here, and they actually helped a lot of the citizens within the country to get out of the country. Now, they might have been so thankful for it. I mean, but whatever. That's a different talk. When they were marching along the beach here, it was actually, I think it was over here somewhere. They were marching along. They were going to go up here to a more controlled Israeli controlled area, and maybe even into areas of oh no, actually, sorry, they weren't even do that. They were going this way. They were going towards the southern part, which is what I was trying to say. Yeah, so they sent them from the beach town on this road right here down towards the southern part of Gaza. And what did Hamas do? Hamas didn't just sit idly by and let the civilians go away. No, the Hamas actually decided to bring out their RPGs and fire into the crowd of these civilians. Now, luckily, they didn't manage to get it done, but we actually saw them do it. We also saw shots being fired towards the civilians. We saw drones being flied towards the civilians. Israelis had to bring along mobile AA systems, anti-air gun systems, along with them when they were evacuating people. Because if they didn't do that, then the Hamas would have just shot every single civilian, or they've at least tried to kill a lot of civilians. Because they didn't want them to leave. They wanted them to stay so they could use them for either cannon fodder or to fight against Israel. But the thing is, Israel's repeatedly said, we're not at war with the people of Gaza, we're at war with Hamas. A lot of people in Gaza, you might ask yourself, in the start of the war, people in Gaza went, they celebrated what happened, they were happy about it. But you ask anybody in Gaza now and you say, are you happy about what Hamas did? And they're going to say, fuck no. That's what they're going to say. Fuck Hamas. And a lot of people in Gaza were not on the side of Hamas when the attacks occurred. But you also got to put into perspective just how desperate life in sort of this country is. I mean, life in this country is cramped. They're pretty much zoo animals. The only sort of airport that were here was just the only airport in Gaza was destroyed in 2001, so nobody can leave. So it is sort of a desperate situation. Now, that doesn't mean that you should be supporting terrorism, but I think you'd be much more sustainable doing it. Now, that's a different talk, but that's what I got to bring to you, and that's the reason why this is very, very dangerous. It's a very dangerous situation right now. We're looking at a very dangerous situation. I think comparing a terrorist attack to another terrorist attack is a ridiculous thing, because the individuals that died on 9/11 shaped a war in the Middle East that is still brewing to this day. I mean, 9/11 compared to what happened in Israel, I mean, sure, I would say 9/11 is on another level, but comparing it, saying, look at this terrorist attack compared to this terrorist attack is a ridiculous thing. Just let 9/11 be 9/11 and October 7th be October 7th. They will both be days that will go down in history as very brutal and horrific terrorist attacks. But let 9/11 be 9/11 and October 7th be October 7th, because they were both horrific. People died, I mean, 3,000 people or something like that died in 9/11. A lot of people died on October 7th. Let them be as they are. It was horrific attacks. It was absolutely fucking ridiculous, and it's something that no one ever should dismiss as a completely brutal thing. So yeah, I mean, I agree. Comparing it is ridiculous, but that Anyways, guys, I'm talking on here, and we're not gonna continue to talk on here. I just have so much to want to get through here and to explain it and all that. Ask any questions that you want, of course. But we will move on to some Ukrainian version player. Not sure what you're talking about there, Sooth. I'm not. Listen, I haven't really studied 9/11 or all what happened there. I wasn't even born yet. I wasn't alive when 9/11 happened, so I'm not really, into what not understandable what happened there. But yeah, I mean, I know what happened, right? But sort of a chapter lost for me, at least. Anyways, Ukraine and Russia news here. The commander of the armed forces of Ukraine, which is what he's called, Mykola, whatever, Mykola or some Olenchuk, commented on the explosions in the temporarily occupied Crimea. I'm waiting for the same epic report from the enemy propaganda as the recent fake about hitting the bunker with the deputy commander-in-chief of armed forces. Once again, I thank the pilots of Air Force and everyone who planned the operation for the impeachable combat work. Well, it's all right. So I just don't know a lot about it. I know it happened. That's all. Yes, today, on all days, because today is a very special day. The reason why today is such a special day is because it's a person's birthday. Now, I don't know if you know this man right here, but he's an amazing man. He's the man who never smiles. He's ice fucking cold. He's the chief of intelligence of Ukraine, Budanov, and it is his birthday. So wish happy birthday, Budanov. You are, he never smiles. This man's very serious. That's very, yeah. That's literally something they recorded, which is hilarious. I think is hilarious, but yeah. So happy birthday, Budanov. He's the chief of intelligence of Ukraine. Talked about that guy before. And in celebration of his victory of living another year, I don't know. The Ukrainian armed forces decided to have a little bit of fun, and they decided to blow up Crimea, literally. There was a massive drone attack in Crimea conducted by the Ukrainians on Budanov's birthday. Is celebrated in Crimea, and air alerts is heard in Sevastopol. Explosions are reported. Also, explosions were heard in Yevpatoria. The Korean bridge is traditionally blocked. In total, the Sevastopol heard about 10 explosions. Report the Project Krim Really. That's the name I can't pronounce, said that the Russian military were repelling an attack by the armed forces, during which several area targets were shut down. Yeah, happy birthday. Exactly. Happy birthday to Budanov. And I think it was a great gift to give Budanov to see 10 explosions go off in Crimea, one of which hit a very important place. Here you have it. Ukraine strike hits Russian commander post in Crimea. Oh my god. Ukraine forces struck a military command post near Sevastopol, Russian-occupied Crimea, at around 3 p.m. Kyiv time on January 4th, the Ukrainian military reported. Now, I'm not aware of any casualties, yet I am aware of damage to the command post, which is always a great time to hear. 10 drones made it through the chaos of AA guns. And, we struck again on Crimea. Crimea, if you don't know, if you're new, Crimea is here. This is Russian-occupied since 2014. It is the prime jewel of Putin, and Putin does not like when Ukraine goes, fuck you. And that's what he did. EVC, welcome. So, yeah. The Republic of Crimea was struck today in Sevastopol and Yevpatoria. Several targets may have been taken out, not aware, but a lot of explosions and a headquarters and all kind of different things were shot at, and things were successful. So, great time. And more great news. It seems that Germany also heard about Budanov's birthday, and they announced a military aid package for Ukraine, which includes the Sinex SAM with ammunition, which is a great system. I'm going to show you a video about it just in a second here. 2 TRML-4D Raiders, which is Raiders, I don't know anything about them. Munition for the Leopard 2A6. Missiles for the Iris-T. 9,080 shells for 155 millimeter caliber. Oh my god. 2 Wish-Inet demining tanks, which are much needed for Ukraine. Piper paving tanks. Never heard about those guys. 3,350 combat helmets. Yeah. 30 drones detection systems, which is much needed. Thank you. 10 Citro trucks. Their 3 8x8 HX81 tractors and a semi-trailer. Well, there you go. And 34 other vehicles. 305 MK556 rifles. 750,000 rounds of ammunition. That's a lot. 1,152 winter camouflage nets. That's good. And 10 mortar infantry vehicles. Oh my god. So Germany catch it on, and they actually realized that it was Budanov's birthday, and they decided to bring along a special little gift. The Tunkeres Bridge on fire. The Crimea Bridge. Do I remember the Crimea Bridge on fire? Yeah, I mean, is that one you were talking about? The Toon Bridge? Tungrest? I don't remember that one. But the Crimea Bridge, I remember the Crimea Bridge on fire. 86, welcome in. Now, I remember, here you have it, guys. So, Budanov has a birthday today, and, well, Germany decided to be very nice, and they gave him a gift of a lifetime. They gave him what is basically the Mantis system on wheels. This is Germany's... It is a Sinex truck-mounted engage drone swarm, made to shoot down drones at a rapid pace. Here you have it. Rheinmetall. Please, Rheinmetall, I'm just trying to show off something here. It's on YouTube, so please do not fucking take my video down again. Or at least, they copyright it every single time. I just have to either... yeah, it gets annoying. But that's drones right there. There you have it. That's a tracking system within the system itself. And now they're going out. You can see the German Alps there, or whatever you want to call it. Great place, really. I mean, a beautiful place. And there it is. Almighty machine. Mighty machine. It's a bit janky, but it's alright. There you have it. This detection system, by the way, I know nothing about it. As far as I understand, it's top-notch. Don't ask me about the individual components of this kind of thing, but it's top-notch. Oh, yeah, no, I heard about that, Sooth. Yeah, yeah, no, I think I heard about that. I did. Maybe, I don't know. Busy. But there you have it. I mean, it's an astonishing place they picked to do this test, by the way. I just want to say, this is in Germany as well. Rheinmetall is a German company, but it's an astonishing place they chose to do this. Holy shit. It's really beautiful. Like scenery as well, you know? This is within the deep of mountains. Takes a little bit. There you have it. Now the drones are coming in for attack. They're coming in. The drones are coming in for attack. Oh no, what shall we do? 3, 2, 1. That's what we shall do. So, look at this shit. That's, you know, if you're ever wondering, you know, what are you going to do when a bunch of drones comes towards you? What are you going to do? Rheinmetall has the answers with its brand new Skynet. I don't know if it's new, but it's certainly great. Skynet mounted engaging drone. 3, 2, 1. Alright, I will, so I will. I will check it out. I will check it out. I mean, holy shit. I mean... The range alone is incredible. I mean, look at that. 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 That was what it, that's what it did. It was a fucking, like, it was really, like, they were there, and then they're not there. How does it do that? like the shell. So it's like shotgun. Like it explodes before it hits them. So it explodes right before. Apparently, it's like shotgun fucking shells. It explodes right before. Just fired off. You know, holy shit. I mean, look at that. Imagine that on the holster. Yeah. Holy shit. I mean, Jesus Christ. Just want to say, Ryan Metal, go check them out on YouTube. Great guys. No, it is 2 years ago they showed us off. It's relatively new, I'd say. It's in 2021 in Switzerland. So it wasn't in Germany. In Switzerland. Okay. Well, there you go. That makes sense why it was so beautiful. But yeah, that is absolutely amazing. And that's going directly to Ukraine to shoot down Russian drones. And you bet it's gonna go a long way to securing the Ukrainian skies. So you're gonna see a big, upcline in the shoot down. I just want to point out throughout the last in 2024, right? I bet Arnie got one, or Arnold Schwartz. Yeah, he's probably got one. He's probably got one. I imagine he's got a tank. He's probably got one as well. So in 2024 alone, the Ukraine has actually shut down. I think it was above 100 drones without this system. So with this system, so they really went all out with the birthday gifts for Budanov. So I say, Budanov, why don't you have a birthday every single day? So to give my voice a little bit of a rest here, I'm kidding, but to rest a little bit here and gather my thoughts, we're gonna watch the latest from Zelensky here. Of course, you have your subtitles there. This is the latest update from Zelensky himself. Good time watching. Have a good time watching.
Дорогі українці, українки, цими днями багато регіонів нашої держави, різні міста і села, райони і прикордонні, і біля фронту, і на всій території зазнали російських обстрілів, масованих ракетних ударів, постійних атак шахедами. Очевидно, що саме цей новорічний час, кінець минулого року, перші дні цього року, керівники держави-терориста пробували використовувати, щоб зламати наш дух та щоб повернути стару минулорічну загрозу. Загрозу знищення нашої енергетики, основ нашого життя. Наші захисники неба роблять все можливе, щоб захистити державу. Вся команда наших дипломатів, усі, хто відповідає за комунікацію з партнерами, українські представники за кордоном, на 100% роблять все, аби забезпечити постачання додаткових систем ППО і ракет до них. Це пріоритет номер один. Звичайно, точно такий же пріоритет номер один – це нові пакети підтримки для наших воїнів. Артилерія, зокрема, калібр 155, засоби РЕП, нові дрони і інше.
That's funny. I said the exact same thing, Sooth. I said, I'm not gay, but hey, I'm not gay, but yeah,
Це необхідно. Вдячний усім нашим партнерам, які вже формують нові пакети підтримки. Буде цього місяця багато відповідної комунікації. Але зараз, сьогодні, я хочу відзначити все ж тих, хто і вночі, і вдень, і в будь-яке свято, і в будь-яких умовах працюють абсолютно всюди в Україні для ліквідації наслідків російських ударів. Сумщина, Чернігівщина, Львів, Одеса, Харків і Київ, Дніпро і Нікополь, Кривий Ріг і Оріхів, Запоріжжя, міста Донеччини, Херсонщина, всюди. Наші рятувальники з ДСНС України, волонтери, які допомагають, наші поліцейські, я дякую всім вам, чия робота – це рятувати людей. Я хочу відзначити особливо рятувальників, які працюють в Києві. Майстер-сержант Дмитро Тарасенко, сержант Антон Дяченко, головний майстер-сержант Андрій Шеляков. Я дякую вам, хлопці. Одеса, ДСНС України, старший майстер-сержант Олександр Дмитренко та полковник Андрій Задоїний. Дякую. Харків, сержанти В'ячеслав Юхно та Олександр Зінченко. Молодці. Херсон, сержанти Євгеній Самілик, Дмитро Мотус. Суми, майстер-сержант Роман Щикот та командир відділення 35-го державного пожежного рятувального поста Олександр Батюхно. Дякую вам. Також відзначу і працівників комунальних підприємств Сумської області Олександр Решетник та Олександр Дзекелев, Есманська селищна громада. А також я хочу окремо відзначити Тараса Овсійчука, лікаря, дитячого хірурга Херсонської дитячої обласної клінічної лікарні та Юрія Шашкіна, лікаря бригади екстренки, що працює на Херсонщині. Я дякую вам всім за вашу роботу. Працівник поліції Харківщини, лейтенант поліції Валерія Чуркіна. Дякую. Сергій Миколаєнко, тракторист Харківського комунального підприємства, яке задіяно в ліквідації наслідків ударів. Дякую Сергію. Максим Баранецький, Одеська обласна організація Товариства Червоного Хреста України. Володимир Судак, фахівець пожежно-рятувальних робіт, що працює в комунальній установі в Одесі та відзначився в рятувальних операціях.
All right,
А
see you
також
later.
Олена
Have a
Сахарова,
good time.
волонтерка, загін швидкого реагування Товариства Червоного Хреста України. Дякую вам та кожному і кожній, хто працює заради порятунку життя людей. Ми маємо вистояти проти російського терору та захистити нашу державу. Слава Україні!
Oh shit, it was gonna end right now. I'm eating some chips here, and I was gonna. Hopefully, he was gonna go on a little bit more. I wouldn't have minded. No. In more great news for Ukraine, Russia today had some power outages as it burned down a transformer station, result in a particular blackout in Moscow overnight. Free district of Moscow were left without electricity and water and heating. In the morning, a fire broke out at a substation on Voshchukov-Lementy or Prosidi, I don't know, in the Russian capital, in Moscow, yeah. Emergency workers are trying to eliminate the fire. The authorities do not predict when the benefits of civilization will return to the homes of the invaders. Yeah, there you have it. And oh shit, we got some pictures from it. Here you have it. Now, if you notice something wrong here, it's, yeah, this is not taken in 1960. Just want to say that. You know, it might look like it, but yeah, it's not taken in 1960. It's taken it today. And it is, in fact, though, okay. Right. Right. I'll get rid of that guy. Thank you for stopping by. Anyways, it's not taken in 1960. He got a little butthurt that I was showing this, I imagine. It was taken today, and there's a fire. And the fire is at an electric station. Now, you notice anything wrong here? There's no electricity. No heating, no anything. It is minus 27 degrees, so apartments in North Moscow will stay without heating or electricity since 5 a.m. after a transformer. Holy shit. There we go. Get off from the laptop. Yeah. They do. So, transformer burned down. It's now 11 p.m. Temperature is minus 27 degrees or minus 17 Fahrenheit, which is, if you don't know, not a lot. It is very cold. It is below freezing. Yeah, it's a lot. So we actually have some images from it. Here you have it. Now these homes right here, it's the ones without water, heating. It's just really not a great time, right? Not a great time. It is very cold. It's in Moscow.
Кошмар какой-то. -27. Нормально, нет?
Yeah, he's just filming up there. No light. No light at all. The only light that appears to be there is the street lamp appears to still be working. The street lamp is probably running off a separate system or something else. You can see people actually in the windows there looking. Look at that. Looks like children. Poor children. Well, you can't say that, you know. But yeah. Yeah. It is minus 29 degrees. Minus 17 Fahrenheit. It is cold. I mean, cold. See that right there? That's also from Ukraine. That's, you know, it's snowing, it is raining, it is it's cold. I've got another video for you. Give me a second here. So, this person here reported that, in fact, 3 districts were without power. Sorry. And were left without heating. In the morning, a fire broke out of substation. Read that before. So 3 areas, right? 3 areas. This is in Moscow. That's the picture of the fire there. That's the transformer station. Holy shit! You gotta imagine. It's just great news coming out from for Ukraine here, and bad news for Russia. Well, you know, some people say let them burn, and I say let them freeze, right? I mean that's a great way to put it. No, I mean listen, that's for the children's sake. Let's hope they get it back on, right? Nah, I don't know. In other funny events here, furthermore, people have sent good wishes. Too bad there's still buildings. Yeah. In other news here, in Sudan, a pro-Ukrainian force of some sort has sent greetings to Budanov. This is a picture of Budanov. Apparently, it sounds like he's actually speaking Ukrainian, which is... I don't know. It sounds like it's speaking Ukrainian. I didn't know they... I mean, I don't know. I mean, he said a lot of Brakbar, which is not Ukrainian, but, you know. And then in true Sudan fashion, they fired off some guns there. I mean, you know, I didn't expect it, but it's cool. You know, some pro-Ukrainian people in Sudan. That's interesting. Some other news before further more great news for Ukraine. Putin has issued a decree allowing foreign nationals who fight for Russian military in Ukraine to obtain Russian citizenship for both themselves and their family. Oh my God. I imagine everybody's going to be flocking to Russia now. No. No one is going to be flocking to Russia. I mean, maybe if there were some refugees that wanted to, but I mean, really, I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna make a difference. I don't know. I don't think so. In greater news, and something I've been waiting to say a long time, 6,000 Russian tanks destroyed. 6,000 Russian tanks down in the ground. Yeah, 6,000 plus tanks. The official number is 6,200 destroyed tanks. I said it yesterday. I said tomorrow we might see 6,000 destroyed tanks, and we are, and we're at it. And then I want to show you some other things because I think it's important for you to see some things I tweeted myself a little bit earlier. I was, well, how do you say, going around, putting up some tweets, having a good time, realizing the great time that we were going to be receiving very soon. And, well, I put out some things here. Let me see if I can find it. Oh my God, I've reposted a lot of things, so I might not be able to find it. Oh, I might need to go a bit far here. Oh, here we have it. No, we have it right here. Yeah. So I took some screenshots and 6,000 destroyed tanks, and 2 years they built maybe 400. So the tank production numbers of Russia is about this leap in rates of production comes to unexpected since the early open days suggests that Russia could make only 200 new tanks per year. Ukraine is destroying almost 200 Russian tanks in 2 months, if that does it. Then the rest here is the Russian. So here we have it. The Russian army received 210 new tanks in 2023 compared to the only 30 units in 2020. The number of T-72B3S, I believe they meant to say 2022, by the way, delivered to the Russian army in 2023 is only 40 vehicles compared to 120 units in 2020, which, again, 2022, I imagine. Also, the taken from storage category amounts to 840 vehicles, including T-80, T-72, T-62, and T-54 and T-55 tank types. So, I want to point out here that the T-55 and T-62 were both made. The T-62 were made in the 50s. And the T-55 is a World War II era tank. It was made, I believe, in 1945 or something like that. It was made just after World War II. The T-55 was made, no, it's T-34, 54, the T-54, right? Yeah, the T-54 was produced in 1947 to 1958, and there are variants of it being seen in Ukraine. They're using tanks from World War II. Well, not from World War II. Obviously, I know the World War II ended in 1945, but it is from the 40s, 1940s. You know, some of the tanks, and 50s and 60s. So, I mean, they're not doing great. So, people keep saying that they're going to be able to bring up a massive force to be able to fight to fight NATO, which they're not going to be able to do. So don't sweat it. Moving on there, the losses of the Russian occupiers in Ukraine is 780 plus troops, 12 tanks, which up to 6,002. 11,128 plus 22 tanks, armored combat vehicles, 28 artillery pieces, 2 multiple rocket launchers, 1 air defense system, 5 drones, 32 vehicles and fuel tanks, 6 special equipments, and 2 cruise missiles. Great time. Love it. I'm getting a stuffy nose. I don't know why. Don't know why. Moving on, in other news as well, Japan will provide Ukraine with biofuel production technology. I had nothing else on that, but I don't know. It's great. It's biofuel, so technology to make biofuel, which is good. Great news. Budanov's birthday. Great day. In other news, the first batch of eggs from Turkey has been delivered to Russia. 360,800 eggs from Turkey have been delivered to Russia. Earlier, Russtats reported that eggs have been risen in price by 46.2% since the beginning of 2023. Eggs will also be supplied to Russia from Azerbaijan and Iran. So, eggs is in short supply in Russia, has risen in price of fucking 46%. There are lines outside of supermarkets And not only have they taken the eggs out of the supermarkets, there are people selling eggs individually now. Apparently, they don't have any chickens left, or they're eating it so much that they have just shortage of it. There you have it. It says eggs on the packets. Look at that. Eggs. This man is checking it out, making sure the numbers are right. 360,000 eggs. Sorry, 316,000 eggs been delivered to Russia because they have a shortage of eggs from Turkey. Which, by the way, fuck you, Turkey. I mean, really. In other news, a little bit more of a disturbing news here. Of course, we already kind of knew this, but we didn't believe it. I never saw it, but here we have it. There were pictures of it online as well. Increasing numbers of women are turning up in the trenches. They're not medics. They're women prison columns, so they're brigades who volunteered to invade Ukraine. So it's women that volunteered to invade Ukraine. Not women that, have been conscripted, because Russia doesn't conscript women. Not yet. They are, previously Russia had not sent women in such numbers to combat, but Putin needs more cannon fodder. So apparently, yeah, they're actually sending women, people who have reportedly volunteered. I'm not aware if they are actually sending women, drafted women, but the reports so far go that these women are actually volunteered, but don't know. But if that's true, that's also looking at a desperate point from Putin. Not that it's desperate to send women to war, don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say all that stuff. People are going to be, oh my god, no. Listen, the reason why I'm saying it is because Russia is old school. Putin is old school. He will not refer to sending women to war. He will send men to war because he's old school. If he's sending women to war, then he's desperate. That's a good sign. So that's what I'm saying. There's also other reports that a Su-34 was apparently strike fighter was torched during a sabotage raid deep in Russia. So apparently somebody in supporting or either being rebellious to Russia burned an Su-34 fighter jet, which is also great news for us. In other news that you might have been wanting to hear about, North Korea has begun supplying short-range ballistic missiles to Russia. The Wall Street Journal reported. The Russian Federation is also in negotiation with Iran, which I mentioned yesterday, on ballistic weapons delivery can still take place in spring. And in other news, which I don't know why I chose to put these so late, but here we have it. The GPS falls over NATO countries. The Russian Federation used a radio electronic warfare base in Kaliningrad. It is noted that since December 15, the plane suffered from navigational errors over the southern part of the Baltic Sea. So I'm very excited to see what the Western countries or NATO countries will do about this apparent threat here from Kaliningrad. Kaliningrad is here. And Kaliningrad is sending signals, jamming signals from here to here. It covers the whole of Denmark, great parts of Sweden, most of Estonia, and most of the Baltic states. Every single one of the Baltic states, pretty much, and much of Belarus and Poland. It's you can't see it, but it's sort of this sort of way right here. It sort of goes around here. And people are kind of mad about it, so we'll have to see if they do anything about it, or they're why exactly they're doing it. We don't know if they're just doing it to be annoying or whatever the fuck it is that they're playing with it is. But I'm not happy with it, and I'm not gonna sit by idly. I don't know. I can't do anything about it, but I will tell about it, and I will say if anything else happens. I mean, if they make a plane fall out the sky because of it, then we're gonna have problems. So yeah. Either Putin is just trying to be annoying or something other is at play here. Moving on from Ukrainian Russian news, we have some Asia news here because a lot of stuff is happening in Asia here. Several Chinese citizens were critically wounded after an artillery strike by the army of Myanmar. Myanmar, or whatever. I remember how to say it. I couldn't remember how to say it now. Against the Chinese city of Nashan in the Yunnan province. China's foreign affairs minister condemns Myanmar for the misguided attack. So I understand that a lot of these people on Twitter right now are talking about this civil war that's been going on in Myanmar. And it's a civil war that's been going on since 2021, and it's still going on. And I found a really great YouTube video on it, so I think to explain it to you, I wouldn't want to sit here and explain to you because it's a really big sort of thing. And this guy, he explains it to you really great. So I thought, why don't we watch this? It is from TLRDR News Global. Great show here. They do other things as well. China, yeah. They also say why it's bad news from China, which is also a good one. But we're going to watch this one to help you understand the civil war that is brewing in Asia here. Well, at least in this country. So here you have it.
Is brought to you by Nebula. Myanmar's military coup of February 2021 dashed hopes that the country's recent democratic transition would be irreversible and plunged the Southeast Asian nation into a crisis that's escalated into a full-on armed conflict, pitting the ruling military against the opposition National Unity Government and various ethnic armed organizations, united in their resistance against the regime. While it may have fallen out of the headlines, the war continues with seemingly no end in sight. But in the past couple of weeks, the resistance forces have been buoyed by the recent successes of a new operation that's seen them capture key locations from the military in regions bordering China. So in this video, we'll explain the significance of these recent events, as well as looking at the wider conflict and context, beginning with a brief history of how things got to where they are today. Before we start, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing and ringing the bell to stay in the loop and be notified when we release new videos. Myanmar, then Burma, gained independence from the United Kingdom back in 1948, having been under British rule for more than a century and Japanese occupation for a few years during the Second World War. Throughout its entire history as an independent state, Myanmar has been marred by largely ethnic-based conflicts of varying intensities, meaning that the country's civil war is effectively the world's longest-running armed conflict. Myanmar's first 14 years after independence were as a parliamentary democracy, but this brief democratic experience was cut short by a military coup in 1962 that brought General Ne Win to power, who would go on to lead a repressive totalitarian one-party state until 1988. His resignation amid nationwide protests and demonstrations did not mean the end of military rule. But the events of 1988 did see Aung San Suu Kyi, daughter of the father of the nation, emerge as one of the most prominent pro-democracy leaders.
Pure Gym altid lige om hjørnet.
Og har noget for alle.
The military government had pledged after 1988 to hold multi-party elections, which in 1990 were won in a landslide by Aung San Suu Kyi's National League for Democracy, or NLD. However, the military refused to honour the results and maintained their grip on power for another 2 decades. Having first been placed under house arrest in 1989, Aung San Suu Kyi spent 15 of the next 20 years in detention, as did many other opposition figures. Eventually, Myanmar began a very tentative transition towards democracy in the late 2000s, in part due to anti-government protests and ensuing international pressure, which prompted the military regime to begin to loosen its control. An election in 2010 that was boycotted by Suu Kyi's NLD brought a nominally civilian but military-backed government to power that carried out a number of reforms, including a relaxation of press restrictions and the freeing of thousands of political prisoners. Then in 2015, the country held its first nationwide multi-party elections in decades. The NLD participated and won a sweeping victory, and Suu Kyi became Myanmar's de facto leader through the new position of State Councillor. Nevertheless, the military remained influential, retaining significant control over security and other domestic policies. The next elections, held in November 2020, saw the NLD win again. However, on February the 1st, 2021, a day before the newly elected parliament was due to...
One thing about this is that right there was a morning workout show where they then showed a bunch of vehicles come up to the border in this controlled area, whatever it was. And they literally filmed the start of a military coup, the start of the Civil War, on camera doing a morning dance show. That's why she's dancing as this is happening.
To meet, the military deposed the government, declaring that the November election had been invalid, and arrested Aung San Suu Kyi, President Win Myint, as well as many other politicians, officials and civil society activists. The coup received international condemnation, while at home it spawned a widespread campaign of peaceful civil resistance, which was met with a violent crackdown. In the following weeks and months, a parallel government called the National Unity Government, or NUG, was established by ousted lawmakers, civil society activists, and representatives from a number of minority groups. It was quickly declared illegal and a terrorist group by the military. Then, in May, the NUG announced that they'd formed an armed wing called the People's Defence Force, with the goal of resisting the military and protecting their supporters from its repression, which had escalated since the coup. The situation was quickly growing into a full-on armed conflict between the People's Defence Force and the military, and also between the military and various ethnic armed organisations who'd been fighting the state for decades, seeking greater autonomy. Eventually, in September 2021, the NUG declared a People's Defensive War against the ruling military, calling on all the citizens within the whole of Myanmar to revolt against the rule of the military terrorists in every corner of the country. The war since then has touched basically every part of the country. It's created a devastating humanitarian situation, with thousands killed and millions displaced inside and out of the country. Despite keeping hold of the main population centres, the military has lost swathes of territory to the resistance, meaning the People's Defence Force and the ethnic armed organisations that fight not underneath it but are effectively allied to it. The military and its proxies have been accused of terrible acts of violence and, as the conflict has evolved, have been increasingly reliant on seemingly indiscriminate airstrikes at a huge cost for civilian life. A recent report from UN inspectors said the military and its allies were engaging in more frequent and audacious war crimes and crimes against humanity, including indiscriminate attacks on civilians from aerial bombing, mass execution of civilians and detained combatants, and large-scale and intentional burning of civilian homes and buildings. But in recent weeks, a new campaign has given energy to the resistance movement in its fight against the military junta. Operation 1027, launched on October the 27th, is an anti-junta offensive in the northern Shan state, being carried out by the Three Brotherhood Alliance, a resistance movement comprising an ethnic armed organisation called the Arakan Army, plus the Myanmar National Democratic Alliance Army and the Ta-Ang National Liberation Army. Within a matter of days, the alliance had reportedly captured dozens of military outposts and bases, as well as taking control of crucial transit points and capturing the town of Chin Sweho, a key trade point on the right of the border with China, which, alongside Russia, has been a key ally of the otherwise isolated military regime. The recent escalation near the border has sparked concerns from China, prompting it to call for an urgent ceasefire in the area, especially as, during the military's counterattack last week, a shell inadvertently landed on the Chinese side of the border. Operation 1027 is still in its early days, and while limited in its geographic scope, it could prove to have a significant impact on the wider resistance movement. Other resistance groups, including the National Unity Government and its People's Defence Forces, plus various ethnic armed organisations, have expressed their support for the operation, which has seemingly inspired said groups to intensify their anti-regime operations. People's Defence Force fighters, alongside local ethnic groups, have since captured the town of Korlin in the neighbouring Sagain region, marking the first capture of a district capital by resistance forces. The capture of key transit points in the Shan state is also expected to deny the military junta of a key source of its income, which it gets from the flow of trade between China and Myanmar. Ultimately, it remains to be seen whether or not the momentum built by Operation 1027 continues to grow, but it certainly signals the beginning of a new chapter and could end up marking a crucial turning point for the resistance movement. That's unfortunately all we have time for on YouTube today, but if you enjoyed this video and want to support us in making more of this kind of content, then you should check out Nebula.
Check out Nebula. I'm gonna watch that. Anyways, yeah, that's pretty much what's going on there. That's the war. That's the civil war that's been brewing for a very long time. It's gone to its full-blown state right now. It is at a crucial state because it looks like the resistance is winning. It's great. So, yeah. But not the first time a shell has landed in the Chinese area and killed Chinese citizens. So, it's an interesting situation, isn't it? But Myanmar, that's how you say it, Myanmar. Moving on from that, now that you've got the ground knowledge, we'll keep an eye on it, but yeah, things are going good for the resistance as far as we can tell. South Korea has already conducted joint live fire exercises with the United States Mechanized Maneuvers, Combined Army Maneuvers, and Naval Maneuvers since January the 1st. All of them has been conducted close to the border with North Korea. Large efforts are underway to greatly enhance and reinforce combat readiness in preparation against the possible North Korean provocation. North Korea has already criticized such acts, as you would expect them to do, and warned that the chance of a clash between both sides will be at its highest this year. So the US is very much showing its support for South Korea. South Korea is showing that it's ready to fight North Korea and it will not lose this time. Yet the tension between these countries have not been higher since 1950. So gonna keep an eye on it. We'll keep an eye on it. In other news, China keeps sending balloons. Chinese balloons were sent over Taiwan for a second day in a row. This time, 3 balloons entered the airspace of Taiwan. Elections are about to be held in Taiwan in the coming days, which is also an important detail. Elections are supposed to be held in a democratic state of Taiwan, and therefore, it is important to see what's happening here in the next coming days. But this is the escalation from China continuously.
Taiwan's defense ministry says more Chinese balloons have flown directly over the country. The ministry says 3 balloons passed over Taiwan on Tuesday. Another crossed the median line of the Taiwan Strait. It's the second day in a row that balloons were reported around the country. The ministry didn't say whether the latest balloons were civilian or military, but it has said before that most such balloons have been weather balloons. Taiwan's defense ministry.
Weather balloons, my ass. It's so clearly not weather balloons. EU and NATO news. Belgium will send 2 F-16 fighters and almost 50 specialists to Denmark to participate in a training of Ukrainian pilot. This was announced by the Minister of Defense of Belgium. RTBF reports. The training will include not only pilots, but also Ukrainian engineers and mission planners. So, not only will we NATO train pilots, we will also start NATO training Ukrainian engineers and mission planners. So, also, we will have some great leaders and some great engineers. So, good time. Good time for Ukraine. More good times. German farmers have gathered in the tractors for one final warning to the federal government. Unless Scholz abolishes his plan to cut subsidies for agriculture diesel and introduce a vehicle tax for agriculture vehicles nationwide, protests will start on January 8th. So Schultz, being Schultz, fucked up again. And now the farmers have taken it to the streets. They've actually done it before. We did it in Denmark, and they did it and they're doing it here. It's a lot. It's a lot of them. I mean, it's really... Look at the amount of them. I mean, look at that. That's all tractors. Look at that. You know, that's one hell of a way to say, we don't want this. You know, that's one hell of a way to say, fuck off Schultz. Because this is just, oh my god. Why is that something he thinks he needs to do? I mean, it's so stupid. Romania came out with a statement stating they will help restore Ukraine damaged digital infrastructure. Great time for Ukraine. Romania, I didn't know they had great they had great digital infrastructure, but whatever, you know, we can take the help we get. The UK will not hesitate to take actions should the Iranian-backed Houthis continue to put innocent lives at risk and threaten the global economy. Statement made by today's British Defense Secretary Grant Sharps. Sharps, or Grant, have stated that they're ready. The UK seems hell-bent on taking back lost territory, if you get what I'm saying. And the UK seems like they're ready to reoccupy the Middle East. They're done being just some small prawn. They're ready to regain their empire, and I'm all for it. No, I mean, no, I mean, yeah, it's a weird day. Anyways, yeah, sorry. No, I'm for it. No, yeah, a little bit. The Estonian foreign minister on Tuesday said Russia would close a key border checkpoint to road traffic for 2 years, citing renovation works as the reason behind the move. Or it's simply a move like anybody else, like the whole rest. And like, I mean, Estonia and all the other Baltic countries have started closing the border with Russia. So Russia goes, I'll close my border with you, which is kind of counterintuitive. Really counterintuitive, but whatever. I mean, it doesn't matter, but yeah. USA News. ISIL claimed responsibility for the terrorist attack at a university in Philippines. In the Philippines. Oh, wait, I thought, oh my god, okay. I put that in the wrong place. My bad. A terrorist attack took place at a university in the Philippines, and a ISIL claimed responsibility for it. So another terrorist attack took place. More sensitive deaths doesn't need to be there, but whatever. It happened, and we shall respond in kind. No. Maybe, just a little bit. Karine Jean-Pierre says she's not seen any data that would show Biden policies have contributed to the border crisis. So right now, the United States is going through a bit of a border crisis. And seeing that it is fitting, this woman here has posted herself as continuously stating that Joe Biden has nothing to do with it. I personally don't really care. It's not my country, but I thought I'd show you what she says.
The administration's policies contribute to the record number of border crossings?
What I can say is this. On his first day in this administration, the president put forth a comprehensive immigration legislation to deal with a broken system. That's what the president did, to deal with a broken system. We were just a couple of weeks away of 3 years ago, that legislation that he put forward to Congress to actually deal with an issue, right? And so...
Keep in mind, Joe Biden has been vice president for 8 years before he became president. 8 years he has had time to put forward a legislation or at least talk to Barack Obama about it. But no. In the 8 years, what did he do? I don't know. I mean, he's had 8 years to do this, yet he only chose to do it now.
That's what I can say. The president understands that there's a problem at the border. He put forth on his first day something to deal with that problem. And what we continue to see from Speaker Johnson and Republicans, House Republicans, I know Jackie asked a question about something that I said yesterday in May, and I'll repeat it. I repeat what I said yesterday. In May, House Republicans decided to vote on a bill that would cut 2,000 Border Patrol agents at the border. That's what they did. That's what they did. And they continue to obstruct and get in the way of of the president wanting to move forward with a supplemental that includes border security. They're getting in the way of it. They are. While Senate Republicans and Democrats.
Yeah. I think it's funny that they blame the Republicans because they're as much involved in it as the Republicans are. Now, the Republicans are stupid people. No, I mean, listen, not people who vote on Republicans, but people who are in the Republican Party, because they seem to be very much not wanting to further the cause of their own party, only wanting to further the cause of I said that kind of childish games. It's time to realize that nobody's really doing great with any party. I mean, the Democrats aren't doing great either. Indeed, Jesus Christ.
In a bipartisan way, are trying to find a way, a bipartisan agreement to deal with border security. You have House Republicans who left. They left in the middle of December, and I think they come back next week. Maybe they'll get some work done. Instead, they're playing politics.
So is that a no?
Look, what I can say is what the president has done. I'm not going to speak to data. I have not seen any data that would show this, so certainly I can't speak to that. What I can say is the actions and what the president has done and how seriously he has taken this on his first day, understanding that this system has been broken for decades. This immigration system has been broken for decades. Under a Republican president, under a Democratic president, it has been broken.
He's been the vice president for 8 years. He's been there before. He's been the vice president for 8 fucking years. What are you on about? It's a broken system. Yes, he made it. He's been there since the fucking 60s. Or 80s, or whatever. I don't know how long he's been there, but he's been there since the 70s or 80s. He's been vice president for 8 years. I mean, come on. I mean, wake the fuck up, dude. What kind of bullshit speech is even that? No, you can't remember him. That's why, Witchy. He can't remember him. The U.S. and Qatar has extended the agreement on the deployment of U.S. military at the Al Udeid Air Base for another 10 years. Al Udeid Air Base is considered the largest U.S. military facility, which can accommodate more than 10,000 fighters, which is great. We're going to need it. That was reported by the CNN. Per U.S. officials, WSJ, if a strike does occur, potentially targets including munitions storage facilities, coastal radar installation, and anti-ship and drone launchers. This match my initial analysis below. If a strike does occur, it would mean that a strike does occur. Listen, what I'm trying to say here is, it looks like the USA's turn is sort of moving into a posture state where they're getting ready to fight a war. Now, I know a lot of you don't want it, but it's reality. Face it up here, guys. We're heading to war. I mean, there's no other way to put it. The Middle East is becoming a hot pocket of terrorism, and we need to get in there, sort it out once and for all. Get rid of the terrorists, sort it out once and for all. That's what we need to do. Fuck them up. No. Yeah. So, some world news for you. Moving on. The citizens of Russia and the Republic of Belarus will not compete in the Winter Youth Olympics in South Korea in 2024. I just want to say something here. I'm very happy to hear this. Once and done, exactly. South Korea, sorry. Russia and Belarus will not be competing in the Winter Olympic Games. Great times. Yes! That's what we needed. Great blow. No, but it is. It's actually great. I didn't want them there otherwise. They keep taking drugs as well. I mean, it's funny because Russia admitted to giving their athletes enhancing drugs. And they blatantly admitted it. Which is, I mean, they just admitted it. You know? Just like, straight up. Like, just went, yeah, sure. Like, yeah. In other news that isn't so great, Fulani Islamist militia launched another massacre against Christian Nigerians. At least 41 Christians have been massacred, is what their athletes are. Yeah, junkies, yeah. At least 41 Christians have been massacred in 4 villages, state of Kudana, over the past 24 hours. Is there a protest march in London scheduled yet? The funny thing is, right? The whole of Africa, the whole of all these countries, they keep saying the West, the West, the West. Where the fuck is our apology? Because you just killed a bunch of Christians. I tell you what, if it was me, I'd tell Niger to give me an apology because I need some apologies here. You just fucked up some of my Christian fellows, and I will, at least the Pope should go. Well, he's Catholic. Christian. Who's the Christian? Is that same thing? I don't know. I'm not much of a Christian kind of guy. I'm not much of a religious kind of guy, but I am Christian. I'm just not, I'm Christian because I'm baptized and I'm at confirmation, but I'm not I don't go to church that often, at least. Very rare, but so I'm not, a endowed Christian, but I am a Christian. I can't get around that, By the way, the villages in where it took place right here, there were images shared online of people that were beheaded. There was a man buried in a suitcase. A man buried. He was getting buried, and he was missing his head. Simply for having another belief, they killed them, which is ridiculous. And also, then they would like to say that we're the bad guys. I'm gonna tell you something here. The governments of Nigeria might not have anything to do with it, but it is absolutely ridiculous that they let something like this happen, or that they expect us to say sorry, yet they continue to kill Christians, which is ridiculous because their claim is that we continue to kill them, which is when have we killed you? You're killing each other. I mean, I'm just saying, Anyways, I don't have any more news because, I'm just not. I mean, I'm sorry. I don't know what today. Today wasn't great. I wasn't feeling it today, but I'll try. I think I tried. I think I did. I think we did. I think we got through most of what I wanted to get through and explained it. So, yeah. We'll end it off with a banger. With a banger here. Something I haven't done in a while. We're gonna end it off with an old history video here. This video right here was taken in 1947. Above the city of, I believe, New York, in Manhattan or something like that. Look at that. This looks like New York. This is the Hindenburg. This was taken moments before the horrific event of the Hindenburg, yet it is a sight to be aware of. It's the Hindenburg, taken in 1947. 1947 this was taken. Yeah, that's definitely New York right there. And the funny thing is, we thought it was going to be the future, The Empire State Building was built as a way to transport people out and in of the blimp. Which, I mean, we thought it was going to be the future, but, turned out not to be the future. Because then something happened that didn't... Oh, shit. He just went offline. Oh, okay. He just went offline. Let's see. Do we have any Gaza live? Let's bring that up then. Well, that's just... God damn it. What else is there? That's not live. That's CNN News 18. That's not live. That is not live. Absolutely not. All right, we'll watch this, I guess. That's... Oh. So that's... This is not... This is, Ukraine live. Gaza, but he doesn't have a Gaza. Oh, there he is. The whole goddamn compilation. Thank you. Conscious confounds. Go check that out. Anyways, yeah, I don't have much else for you, but we'll go on Deep State to check if any changes on the Ukrainian battlefield has concurred. Here we have it. It's just like it popped up. Here. Oh no. Oh wait, is that something there? Oh, god damn it. Stupid ass. There we go. Is that something since yesterday? Some smaller pushes from the Russians here. In that area. They're still trying to circle around, apparently. Some pushes over here. Apparently taking that village there. That's taking them a while, but they've taken that village there. Well, completely surrounded it as well. Where's the big front? Oh, there it is. Yeah. Anything over here? No. So nothing really, nothing significant. I want to point out, some people yesterday were saying that, you know, Russia was winning because they've taken more territory that Ukraine have. Let me just point something out here. Russia has spent 100,000 men to take 32 square kilometers of land. Yeah, that's right. They've taken 100,000 men to take land less than what Gaza is. So, yeah. Not that I would say they've taken extreme amount of measures of land. Okay, they're taking something never now and then, and they're taking a little bit more than what Ukrainian might like to take, but it's not impressive work. I mean, let's be honest. It's not impressive work. You know, if for 100,000 men, you'd expect more sort of, I'd expect more. You know, I'd expect a bit more. Anyways, I was going to bring this one up here. China has increased its supply of high precision machine for the military industry to the Russian Federation by 10 times, the Financial Times reported. Russian customs report shows Chinese manufacturers shipped $68 million worth of related tools in July. Latest figure available compared with the just 6.5 million in February 2022 when Moscow launched a full-scale invasion. So that's 2022, and then you can see that's in January 2022. That's before. So right here, there you go. That's the increase right there. That's February, and then start increasing, and that's July 2023. So that's quite some time ago, you know. And I just want to say here something that is something that is interesting is that, you know, like China keeps saying they're not helping Russia, but they're helping Russia in every other way that they can, you know. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's ridiculous, but there you have it. Yeah. Anyways, guys, I think we're gonna go over to Flash. I got you there, didn't I? You're gonna say I was gonna say we ending it. No, we're gonna go over Flash news here and see if he does in fact have it. There we have it. Oh my God, yeah. Round off the news here. Didn't get a whole thing. Here we go. Rounding off the news.
Только что пролетела ракета. Рядом ПВО не отработала. Одну цель сбили сверху, вон она. А что-то все-таки попало. Что это у нас? Район 5-го километра, наверное. Капец.
Стоять! Вышел! Вышел вперед! Рука! На землю! Упал! Руки вперед! Возле машины! Руки! Сюда! Вышел! Вышел сюда! Лег! Быстро! Быстро лег! Никто не разговаривает! Руки за голову!
Okay, there weren't a sound in the video I got, but what the fuck? Why? Why did? Why did she say it? Why is it? What the fuck? What the fuck? Oh my God. Did you hear about the North Korean syndrome? Yeah, short range, wasn't it? Was it short range missiles? I got it short range. North Korea has been supplying short range ballistic missiles to Russia. Yeah, nice sib. I got from Wall Street Journal, North Korea has been supplying short range ballistic missiles to Russia. I did not get a long range. Have they? Well, I know they have. I know they have supplied missiles. Yeah. If you're asking if I know if they supplied those, I talked about that earlier. Yeah. I talked about that earlier. EVC. Yeah, I know that. I mean, we already kind of knew it. I kind of knew it. I mean, I knew it was going to happen. They've you know, sent 1 million shells, 2 million shells, and you know, I knew Russia was going to ask them about it or some kind of, but didn't know when. But now we know, right? So yeah, I heard about it. Yeah, but yeah, back to why did you do it like that? Holy shit.
Биберево. Нет ни света, ни горячей воды, ни отопления, ни холодной воды. Все выключено. Сел Тушево, Биберево без света.
It sure is crazy. Listen, it's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. But listen, let's be honest here. Won't make much difference other than the Russia be able to destroy some fucking buildings, which is sad. But let's be honest, it won't make much difference. You know, I mean, yeah. I don't think it's gonna make much difference. Being honest with you, if anything, it shows Russia's desperation. Buying from North Korea and Iran, you really got to be desperate. They're gonna be supplying Ukraine with much more Patriot systems because they're about to start building Patriot systems in Germany. I talked about that yesterday. They're about to unveil a factory in Germany where they're going to be producing Patriot missiles and systems. So yeah. By the way, I fucking love this. Sorry. I really, really love this. Look at this. So she was the last female. She was a Marine. Actually, she's a Marine. A female Marine. She's tough as nails. I mean, a fucking Marine. Let's go. But, yeah. So she was a female Marine, and she got proposed to. I've never seen anybody bring more flowers to anywhere, but I mean, it's such a lovely sight, right? Reunited. Forever reunited. Hoorah! Marine! Hoorah! Anyways, I think that does it for news tonight. We're at the 2 hours mark very soon. Listen, I'm a minute away from 2 hours, so we're not going to end it before 2 hours just to make it round off. Go check out the Twitter for more information here. If you want the repost and things on the Twitter to keep yourself up to date, Twitter is in the description. Go ahead and follow. And yeah, I don't know. If it was, I don't think like it was the best one today. I think I was a little bit. I don't know. There's not a lot to work with today. Not a lot of exciting news. I mean, other than North Korea sending ballistic missiles to Russia, it wasn't, crazy. A school shooting took place in America. We are 4 days into 2024, and a school shooting has already taken place in America. Happy New Year. Yeah. What a fucking bullshit. Bullshit. Alright. Well, have a good night. See you guys tomorrow.